I'm Muhammad Syafiq bin Mokhtar, student University Kuala Lumpur, Malaysian of Aviation Technology. I will present to you the trend of aviation on post-pandemic. Earlier this year, it was reported that dozens of pilots had notified the aviation safety reporting system about making mistakes after climbing back into the cockpit. Many of the pilots cited rustiness as a reason for the incident after returning to the skies following months of lockdown. While there have been no reported incidents of out-of-practice pilots causing accident injuring passenger, mistakes reported included forget to disengage the parking brake on takeoff, taking 3 attempts to land the plane on a windy day, choosing the wrong runway, and forgetting to turn on the anti-icing mechanism that prevents the altitude and airspeed sensor from freezing. However, in Malaysia, Captain Rohaizat Muhammad Rashid, who is training head of MAB Academy Sdn Bhd, said they had conducted training programs digitally through step-by-step process. Pilots and crew members, he said, regularly underwent training to keep them up to date and ensure they were prepared to fly again. Next is a pilot shortage remain a major issue. In years before COVID, airlines have provided a more direct path to the cockpit for new pilots, expanding cadet training programs and providing financing. With COVID, many of the airlines' pipeline levers have come under pressure. Faced with mounting costs and a pilot surplus, cadet programs are being trimmed. Some of the banks that have supported this financing are reconsidering the risk profile of a new pilot cadet. Finally, the attraction of a stable and lucrative career path now look much less secure. These trends have created a supply shock. Pilot candidates will think twice about entering such a cyclical industry. Many furloughed pilots will return, but some may pursue other opportunities. Finally, airlines in some regions have relied heavily on early retirement to reduce costs, which will permanently decrease the supply. Looking at the past crises such as 9/11 and the global financial crisis, new pilot certification fell 30 to 40% during the 5 years after the initial shock. For all the tales of the devastation that COVID-19 has wrought on the aviation sector and particularly passenger travel, it to be remembered that some parts of the industry have held up, performed strongly during the pandemic. In April 2021, Asia Pacific reported its best months for international air cargo. Since the pandemic began, thanks to rising business confidence, e-commerce and congestion at seaports, air cargo is a critically important industry. This pandemic reminded us that during the crisis, it has been a lifeline for society, delivering critical medical supplies and vaccines across the globe, and keeping international supply chains open. And for many airlines, cargo became a vital source of revenue when passenger flights were grounded. In 2020, the air cargo industry generated $129 billion, which represented approximately a third of airlines' overall revenues, an increase of 10 to 15% compared to pre-crisis level. We need to maintain the momentum established during the crisis and continue building resilience post-pandemic, said Brendan Sullivan, IATA Global Head. CEO Captain Isham Ismail, who is also Group CEO of its parent Malaysia Aviation Group Berhad, said, "Our cargo has also been our star performer. In the financial year ended December 31, 2019, MAB Cargo Sdn Bhd posted a revenue of 1.27 billion. Our internal projections are that Mascargo could bring in 2.7 billion in revenue for FY 2021. Finally, as people get vaccinated and most states has opened their border, international flight has risen up their network and flight frequency. It is good news for the aviation sector as we look ahead to the post-COVID-19 environment and the fact that over 1,400 new air routes are scheduled to operate in 2021. As we can see from the news, AirAsia has opened a new route. Following the resumption of passenger services to Sydney, Australia in February, AirAsia X is expanding its flight network from Kuala Lumpur with new services to Incheon, South Korea and New Delhi, India. Commencing from 20 April 2022, to forget, Malaysia Airlines will begin its newest service between Kuala Lumpur and Tokyo Haneda starting 14 August 2022.